leveling up to the international platform this year with a number of exuberant and euphoric events, which is designed to enhance the passion and skills of emerging engineers for a better world. This time, the event will be packed with the two different workshops on the most prevalent topics of the time. Project Expo and delegate interactive sessions will be held along with the vision of networking and the delegates from the different parts of the country. We have all our esteemed guests here, making this wonderful event more colorful. So let's move on to. We are honored with the presence of Dr. Amit Kumar Srivastava, Director of AICTE, All India Council for Technical Education. Welcome, sir. A long pending desire has been fulfilled today with the presence of Ms. Susan Cathy Land, President at IEEE. A warm welcome for you, ma'am. Dr. G. Ramesh, Principal of MEA Engineering College, Professor Anish Babu Keti, Vice Principal of MEA Engineering College, Dr. Samir Azam, Secretary of IEEE Region 10, Asia Pacific Region, Dr. K.R. Suresh Nair, Chair of IEEE India Council, Ms. Sarada Jayakrishnan, Chair IEEE Kerala Section, Mr. Shankar J, Chair Student Activities Committee, IEEE Kerala Section, Mr. Sabik PV, Chair Malabar Subsection. Once again, I welcome all our honorable dignitaries and beloved students to the inaugural ceremony of XTRINIA 3.0. Wishing the best for the team behind and praying for those who are suffering from COVID-19. Thank you all. Have a nice time.
Thank you so much, sir. Now let's move on to the presidential address. Shall we, Hasna?
Oh yes, Aisha. To deliver the presidential address today, we have with us Professor Hanish Babu Keti, the current Vice Principal and Associate Professor in Electrical and Electronics Engineering Department at MEA Engineering College. He's a certified chartered engineer and life member of IEI and a member of IEEE and Energy Conservation. He received his BE degree in Electrical and Electronics Engineering from Anjuman Engineering College, Karnataka University, Karnataka, and MTech degree in Power Electronics and Drives from NIT Calicut, and is pursuing PhD in the area of Power Electronics at VIT University, Chennai. With most respect and pleasure, we invite Professor Hanish Babu Keti to our excited audience. Please take over, sir.
Thank you. So, honorable guest, Dr. Amit Kumar Srivastava, Director AICTE, guest of honor Susan K, respected Dr. Samir SM, Secretary IEEE Region 10, Dr. K.R. Suresh Nair, Chair IEEE India Council, Ms. Sharada Jayakrishnan, Chair IEEE Section, Mr. Shankar J, SAC IEEE Kerala Section, Dr. Sabik PV, Chair IEEE Malabar Subsection, and dear participants, my dear colleagues and dear students. So XTRINIA 3.0, this is the third program conducted by our IEEE chapter, MEA chapter. During last 2 years, it was of national importance. Participants and guest of honor was from India, and this is an international level program, and a wide publicity has been given, and more participants have been registered. I came to know from the Jamshir sir that many applications have come for the participation for this event. And this is a techno-managerial program, so that the students will be, all the students and all of us are having separate skills. That skills will be hidden. So if you motivate the students for what all skills they are having, maybe some students may be technically strong, maybe some others will be having more managerial level, administrative power will be there. So if you make them up, they can be a good engineers for the society. And as you all know that during this pandemic situation, it is very tough to come to the college. The students are not attending to the college, but even then we can improve our techno managerial skills by online platform. So we all are very much familiar with the use of now the online platform. And with this online platform, I hope that the participants will be more useful by attending this program. I wish all the success for this program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. And now, as a token of love from our side, we'd like to present a memento on behalf of XTRINIA 3.0. Please accept our humble present.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Well, Aisha, it's time for our inaugural session. Let's introduce our chief guest of the day.
Yeah, to inaugurate our event today, we have a very esteemed guest, Dr. Amit Kumar Srivastava, Director at Student Development Cell in All India Council for Technical Education, AICTE. He's experienced with a demonstrated history of working in education management. He's also had a wide range experience in distant education in India. He completed his master's in electronics and public administration from University of Lucknow. He has a doctorate in public administration in the good governance area. He is highly skilled in government, rural development, organizational development, research, and even e-government sectors. He started his career in this sector in IIM Ahmedabad as trainee academic associate in 2004 and then joined Indira Gandhi National Open University as assistant regional director in 2006. He has contributed for different states of India, namely Madhya Pradesh, Jharkhand, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, and has joined AICTE on deputation in March 2020. His achievements include AICTE Vishwakarma Award 2020, recognition for innovative projects, Jal Shakti Abhiyan Sanchay Jal Bahta Kal, and One Student, One Tree plantation drive for green and healthy environment. We at most respect and pleasure invite Dr. Amit Kumar Srivastava for the inaugural address. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Aisha. Very good evening to all. Respected Ms. Susan Kathy.
Sir, your voice is too low.
Is it audible now? Yeah, it's okay now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's okay. You can handle it.
Yeah, very good. A very happy good evening to all. Respected Ms. Susan Kathy Land, IEEE President and CEO. G. Ramesh, Principals, MEA Engineering College, Mallapuram, Kerala. Professor Hanish Babu Keti, Vice Principal, MEE College of Engineering. Dr. KR
Excuse me, sir. Your audio is too low, sir. We are not able to hear.
Yeah, Dr. KR Suresh Nair, Chair IEEE Indian Council. Mrs. Sarda Jayakrishna, Chair IEEE Kerala Section. Mr. Sankar J, SAC IEEE Kerala Section. Dr. Sadiq PV, Chair IEEE Malabar Subsection. Mr. Mohammad Musarraf, Chair IEEE MEA Student Branch. Mr. Jamseer Ahmed, Counselor IEEE MEA Student Branch, and all the faculty members participate of this mega event XTRINIA 3.0 from India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Qatar, UAE, Greece, Germany, Malaysia, China, and Singapore, which focuses mainly upon towards grooming the technical, managerial, and humanitarian skills of the participants. Along with I also both anchors of the program, Ms. Aisa and Ms. Hasna. It's my great pleasure to be part of the inaugural ceremony of XTRINIA 3.0 event, and I thank the Institute Management and organizer for their invitation. It is heartening to know that students from the MEA Engineering College has proactively participated in the different events in the past, showcasing their skills across different areas. It shows the focus of the institute management and their faculty to promote, support, and bring out the innovations among their students. The high quality of the education provided by the institute is clearly visible in the fact that beside AICTE approved institution in the district, MEA Engineering College is the first NBA and NAC accredited self-finance college. Institute commitment towards high quality of education and in the promotion of the innovation at different levels is clearly visible, reflected in the promotion of the current XTRINIA 3.0 event. in which large number of engineering students across different disciplines, whether it's a computer science, electrical, electronics, mechanical. So large number of students, along with they have a different nationalities also. Say from India, mainly from the India, but also from Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Qatar, UAE, Greece, Germany, Malaysia, China, and Singapore. So it's really great to be part of the inaugural ceremony of this event. I have gone through the mission of IEEE, which is to support and reinforce the young scientific and technological mind to construct and assemble their idea and make use of the resources available for the better human living conditions. Basically, the support to the enthusiastic youngsters to enhance their career, improve the amenities and provisions, build up their strength, the growing professional minds in them, and lead them towards earners and aspiring students to the massive industrious and enterprising outer world. The various events, whether it's in part of the India or outside, which IEEE organized and supported, are basically an example of nurturing the ecosystem for the conceptualization for the skill development of the country. And all of us know that all these things lead all of us towards the Atmanirbhar Bharat as envisaged by the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Modi ji. Recently, we have seen that our country, under the dynamic leadership of Honorable Prime Minister, successfully developed vaccine for corona. That is, Covaxin is India indigenous developed by the great scientists from Bharat Biotech in collaboration with the Indian Council of Medical Research, National Institute of Virology. Besides this, also number of other indigenously developed vaccines are in trial stage, and we are hopeful that soon they will be available in the market. So the overall focus of all these events to nurture the talent, to support our students, to interact, to showcase their skills, ideas, so as to build up the future, the technological future for the respective countries, or to work for the betterment of the humankind. I strongly believe that the future ahead for all of us in terms of the outcome from all these events, especially the XTRINIA 3.0, is to make our country Atmanirbhar. We have to take problems surrounding us and develop solutions for it. We have to be creative. It will help common people to get the benefit of technology. And we have to bring out solutions for the people around us by developing the solution to the problems faced in the vicinity in different areas, especially whether it's agriculture, health, education, and extra. And I think this is the biggest contribution to our country towards its integrated and holistic development. So there is a need to frame our problems, keeping in mind the above aspects, and deliberation, which all these things in the next 3 days, which are going to be discuss different deliberations, different workshops, different seminars, different ideas, which are going to be discussed in the XTRINIA 3.2. I believe that these will lead to the stronger. I strongly feel that presenting their findings, if our students may be given an opportunity, I mean, they are in the conceptualization of ideas. If they have been given an opportunity to present their findings in the international conferences, writing research papers for the innovation, sharing their ideas, and it will also lead all of them to showcase their and skills to the World Forum. One more area I wish to be highlighted is we are very limited patent filing in our country. So although we did lots of innovations, but when it measured in terms of the patent, we are much far as compared to developed countries. So there is urgent need for the institution to focus on the patent filing so that we could showcase our work to the other countries also. Now, as I am heading the student development cell of the AICT, and I have opportunity to interact with large number of students in other countries today. So I just want to highlight some of the important schemes of All India Council for Technical Education, which provide financial support to the students in terms of the scholarship, conference support, internship support, etc. One of the major flagship scheme of the AICT is to support girls students which is named as Pragati Scholarship Schemes. So mainly it is applicable for the students who are in the first year, means those students who are going to take admission in first year in 2021-22. So AICT provide 50,000 per annum scholarship under this Pragati scheme. Second scheme is the Saksham, which is for the specially able students. Under this scheme also AICT provides the BE, BTech or G and the diploma students of the AICT approved institution and courses. So under this scheme also AICT provide a scholarship support of 50,000 per annum. AICT also provides the PG scholarship to the students who are undergoing the PG courses, Masters in Technology, MTech course or M Pharma. It's around 12,400 per month, which AICT provides. We have large number of fellowship because some of the students are definitely interested in making their career in the research area. So AICT has also one of the scheme, AICT Doctoral Fellowship, which provides support to the students at the rate of around 31,000 per month for a period of 3 to 4 years, or a period of 3 to 4 years with enhancement of 35,000 per month also. So I believe that our students must take the benefit of these schemes. We also have one internship scheme in Canada, where every year 300 students from India goes to the Canadian University and they work over there for 4 months duration. Basically, it's open for the BE or BTech second or third year students. Secondly, we also have a scheme to present paper in the conferences. So if any student want to present papers in the national or international conferences, we provide a support for the online registrations and provide financial support for the participants in the conferences. AICT also has a scheme for the 360-degree assessment from the student side about their faculty. Recently, AICT has launched one scheme, Atal Tunnel scheme, which is located in the Himachal Pradesh in the Manali district. It's one of the marvelous example of engineering in India. So this is in order to provide financial support to the students and faculty to visit over there. AICT launched the Atal Tunnel scheme, and last date for the submission of the entries for Atal Tunnel scheme is 21st June. So any institutions which are figure in the NIRF ranking, they may apply for support from the Atal Tunnel scheme. So with this, I again thanks the organizer for their invitation and best wishes to all the students participating in XTRINIA 3.0 event. Thanks to all and namaskar. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. All right. Thank you very much, sir, for sparing your valuable time and joining us today. As you all know, we are engineering students, so we will be forever devoted to AICT and you. Now, as a token of love to express our gratitude, we have a small present for you. On behalf of XTRINIA 3.0, please accept our humble present.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks to all.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you. All right, so next, let's move on to the felicitation, Hasna.
Yes, Aisha. To facilitate the event, we have Dr. Samir SM, Secretary of IEEE Regia 10. He is a professor at the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering at NIT Calicut. He had also served in various remarkable positions such as the former chairman, former vice chair, and former treasurer of IEEE Kerala section, and also as the former treasurer of IEEE India Council. He completed his PhD and MTech from IIT Kharagpur and BTech from TKM College of Engineering, Kollam. He was nominated for the MGA PSPB Product and Service Committee member, USA, for showing outstanding services as an active IEEE member. With most respect and pleasure, we cordially invite Dr. Samir SM to our esteemed audience. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Hasna, for the kind introduction. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay, thank you. So, dignitaries of this program and the delegates of this program from all over the world, very hearty good evening to all of you. This is indeed a great pleasure to be part of this program, XTRINIA 3.0. Primarily because the MEA student branch is very close to me. I mean, when we started IEEE Malabar subsection, one of the first student branches who have associated with IEEE Malabar subsection was the MEA student branch, and it has got a great legacy. And organizing the first edition of the program, of any program, is in general relatively an easy business. Like you have greater ideas and people, and then you organize a program, and continuing this success story and escalating the level of the program to a national level program to international level program is a great achievement. And that's what you have achieved in this edition of XTRINIA 3.0. And very happy to see this growth of this event. And we all know that this pandemic has affected all of us in some way. Either our friends or relatives, someone is having some issue associated with this. And we all have various stress associated with the pandemic and the associated changes that has happened in the education sector especially. We are unable to meet each other. We are unable to meet in the classrooms, interact. And obviously, whether we admit or not, it has created a lot of stress. And the events of these kinds are great stress relievers. And I am very sure that this interaction for the technical events, the managerial and the leadership kind of events, which we have planned, which is a right blend of, talks and workshops and even entertainment kind of sessions with people from startups, people who have, proved themselves in various domains, including music and various other, domains, will enrich the participants from all over the world to a wide range of perspectives. And it's not like, everyone will be focusing fully on engineering in recent times. There are a lot of career opportunities available in various domains, depending on the passion that one possesses. And I hope the participants will be able to unleash their talents and identify their skill sets in the next course of 3 days. At IEEE Region 10, we have several programs aimed at students. A student's research paper contest is going on actually. The last date is 13th of June. And also a student's project video contest is going on, and the last date is 14th of June. And you can look at the Region 10 website for more details. And there are many such programs coming up in from the Student Activities Committee of Region 10 every month. So please do watch IEEE Region 10 website for more details, and please be in touch with the Student Activities Chair of IEEE Kerala section and IEEE India Council for more details of the events that are happening from India Council, Region 10, Kerala section, and all on the student fronts. And I'm very sure that there will be a lot of exciting, formal and informal events awaiting for the participants. And try to make use of these opportunities. Let us forget about the regular classroom kind of business for the next 2 days and enjoy and get recharged yourself. And wish the program all success. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your inspiring words. Now, as a token of love, we'd like to present you a memento on behalf of XTRINIA 3.0. Please accept our humble present.
Thank you very much. Very nice. Very nice. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And now let's move on to our next guest. Who do we have with us, Aisha?
Next, we have Dr. K.R. Suresh Nair, the current chair of IEEE India Council, serving as Chief Technology Advisor at Social Alpha and founder and CEO of Design Alpha Plus. He's an alumnus of Department of Electrical Engineering, IIT Bombay, and has spent his initial career at TIFR and subsequently as Lab of History of Information Technology, Government of India. He has been conferred with many awards, including IEEE Outstanding Researcher Award, Award, IEEE OE Award, DST Lockhart Martin Award 2014 for the top innovation as ranked number 1 in India, to name a few. We invite respected Dr. K.R. Suresh Nair for audience. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Aisha. So, respected Dr. Amit Kumar Srivastavaji, Director AICTE, respected Vice Principal MEA, my fellow IEEEans, participants, lovely students, very good evening. Susan Cathyland, IEEE President, also joined. Welcome and good morning, Susan. So thank you for inviting me to this XTRINIA 3.0 organized by IEEE MEA student branch. That too third time in a series. This itself shows its success. I'm pretty impressed by the activities listed and great to know about spreading its wings to have an international level. MEA student branch team, congratulations, you are now part of world's topmost IEEE section in terms of membership. That's the Kerala section. And you are organizing this program for the world. It's a proud moment for all of us. For students, academic performance remains the base for any career opportunities. One should target to get above 80% marks or so. But this alone is not sufficient nowadays. Recruiters look for communication, involvement in extracurricular activities, professional activities, etc. The idea is if you are associated with professional organizations like IEEE and a vibrant volunteer, you are sure to develop good networking, leadership skills, and teamwork qualities, organizational capabilities, as well as good communication and presentation skills. Even if you are going for higher studies, your involvement in any humanitarian projects during your studies will add good value. IEEE provides ample opportunities in this direction. I know many such vibrant volunteers who were with us now doing great. Some of them got into good schools, some of them got good jobs. IEEE India Council plans to come up with a giant disaster management program for focusing on students as well as young professionals. Those who are interested can be part of this too. We will be soon announcing the details. I wish all the very best to XTRINIA 3.0, its organizers and participants. Have a great fun time. Thank you.
Great words. We are so proud of our SP branch now. Now Team XTRINIA would love to present a token of love from our side. Please accept humble present.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's lovely.
You're welcome, sir. You're welcome. Oh, now let's move on. Who do we have next as our guest? Hasna?
Our next guest is Mrs. Sharada Jayakrishnan, Chair at IEEE Kerala Section Lead. Unfortunately, due to some health issues, Sharada ma'am could not join us today for the felicitation address. She has conveyed her blessings and best wishes to Team XTRINIA 3.0. We pray to God that she gets well soon and hope for a speedy recovery. We feel greatly pleased to have her blessings for XTRINIA 3.0. We mark our gratitude and our hats. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, moving on, who do we have next, Aisha?
Next, we have Kerala section. He is a member of IEEE, presently serving as Student Activities Committee Chair and has exercised various section volunteering roles. He has also served as a steering member of various IEEE international and national conferences hosted by IEEE Region 10, Asia Pacific Region, and IEEE Kerala section. He served as Secretary of IEEE Communication Society. He is Assistant Professor in UKF College of Engineering and Technology, Kollam. He is the coordinator of the Academia Working Group. He received IEEE Kerala Section Outstanding Volunteer Award 2020, IEEE India Council's Outstanding Young Professional Volunteer Award 2020, and IEEE Coin of Leadership. We warmly invite you to our esteemed Dorian, sir. Over to you.
Okay, thank you, Aisha. I hope I am audible.
Yes, sir, you are audible. So
thank you. So, honorable guest dignitaries, Amit Kumar sir, Director, Susan ma'am, IEEE President, as well as Vice Principal Suresh sir, Samir sir, and esteemed guests, as well as the faculties and my dear student members of IEEE SP, as well as MEA College. A very warm good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to each and everyone. So it's indeed a pleasure to join here as a representative of IEEE Kerala section. It's indeed a pleasure As Suresh sir has already mentioned, it's indeed a great pleasure for IEEE Kerala section to be globally #1 in membership. With nearing to 10K members, I couldn't check today. So mostly within 1 or 2 days, we'll be hitting that 5-digit count, which is auspicious for IEEE Kerala section. And indeed, by being an IEEE Kerala section volunteer, it's indeed a great pleasure to address an IEEE SB so vibrant as IEEE SB MEA College. Why? Because in section we have nearly 8,340 plus members as student members, which have contributed a much more significant value. And the events such these as flagship event, technical conferences, even though this with a lot of challenges as the COVID pandemic challenges, you have keep challenging yourself for student branches and student branches across the Kerala. And big kudos to the entire team of XTRINIA as well as IEEE SB team. And I could see the participant here. That is a key involvement here. So for any virtual events with this COVID pandemic, you are conducting it at a very large scale. And as rightly pointed out by the MCs today, it's now being, after the successful edition of the 2 events, national events, it has truly become an international event. And congratulations to the entire team. And I'm very fortunate to have an invitation me as well, and looking for more laureates to the student branch. All the best to the entire team of XTRINIA. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your inspiring words. We are so thankful to have you here. As a token of love, we'd like to present a small memento on behalf of XTRINIA 3.0. Please accept our humble presence, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. This is lovely.
You're welcome, sir. So moving on, who is our next person?
Next, we'd like to present Mr. Sadik TV, Chair at Malabar subsection for the Felicitation Address. He's serving principal at KMCT College of Engineering for Women and has 17 years of teaching experience. He's a wonderful personality with more skills in teacher training, English, management, project management, and Microsoft Office. He is a strong education professional with a Master of Technology focused in electronics and communication engineering from National Institute of Technology, Warangal, and Doctor of Philosophy from Pondicherry Central University. His areas of interest are signal processing and cognitive radio networks. With most respect and pleasure, we cordially invite you to our audience. Over to you, sir.
Hello, is it audible?
Yes, sir, it's audible.
Good evening, good morning, good evening. It's a great honor for me to be part of this inaugural function of 3rd edition of National Level Technical Fest XTRINIA 3.0. Thank you for all the organizing committee members for inviting me for this inaugural function. This is a techno-managerial event organized by MEA Engineering College. And as far as MEA Engineering College is concerned, it is having a vibrant SB unit, SB branch. Why? Because we have being locally associated with the Malabar subsection. I had an opportunity to have worked with the SB MEA because last day we had a joint event of organizing a webinar, and the responsibility given to conduct this particular event was done in a well manner by the SB unit. So such event organizing skill is there in SB branch of MEA Engineering College. This particular techno-managerial event, which is taking place in next 3 full days, will be of worth and will be giving an opportunity for all the participants to take part in all the events and grab prizes. And as we know that there are some hidden talents involved in all the students, so that these kind of platforms will be giving an opportunity for them to showcase their talents, and as well as to interact with the delegates so that they can share their knowledge. So along with this techno managerial event, I believe that there are few cultural events too, which will give relaxation from their busy academic schedules. So all the best for the SB branch for conducting such an IEEE techno managerial event, which has been upgraded from national level to international level. So I take this opportunity to congratulate all the organizing committee and thank you for inviting me. All the best and good luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your inspiring words. And now, as a token of love, on behalf of XTRINIA 3.0, we'd love to present you a memento. Please accept our humble present.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, Aisha, now that we have come to the end of the felicitation address, I think it's time to wrap up.
Before heading on, we'd like to announce the arrival of IEEE Chair, Ms. Susan Cathy Land. We welcome ma'am to all the welcome to our event. In behalf of XTRINIA 3.0, she'll be handling an amazing section at the end of the event today. Sure, Hasna, let's wrap this up. For delivering the vote of thanks, we'd like to call upon Mr. Muhammad Musharraf, current chairman at IEEE MEA Student Branch, Electronic Communication Coordinator of IEEE IAIE PELS Joint Chapter Kerala Section, also volunteer at International Human Rights Commission and founding chair at IEEE Power and Energy Society Student Branch Chapter. Currently, he is doing his BTech in Civil Engineering at ME Engineering College. His major achievements include IEEE IAS CMD Humanitarian Award 2020 and Outstanding Membership Development Volunteer Award of IEEE Malabar Subsection 2020. We kindly invite Mr. Muhammad Musharraf. Over to you.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, Musharraf, you are. You can run with
Thank you, Aisha. Yeah. First of all, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, Susan ma'am. Joined with us. Thank you. Good evening and good afternoon, good morning to one and all. It's a great pleasure and honor for me to be here with you. It gives immense happiness to have you all on board with us on this auspicious occasion of inauguration ceremony of XTRINIA 3.0, the international level flagship event organized by IEEE Student Branch of ME Engineering College, Perindalmanna. Myself, Muhammad Musharraf, the current chairperson of IEEE MEA Student Branch. Initially, speaking about XTRINIA, the first edition was organized in March 2019, laying a foundation of the flagship event of the student branch. The second edition followed on February 2020 with 300 and more student participants in the college campus. Here we are, all in the third edition of XTRINIA, hosting virtually due to the pandemic situation. We all are in together. The main agenda of XTRINIA is the skill development of participants in technical, administrative, managerial, and humanitarian sector. XTRINIA also will stand as a huge platform for the attendees to network and make different opportunities in different building of the career. The upcoming schedules will be a great source of learning for the attendees, which is lined up as a session of the Fantastic Five, the 5 soft skills that every technical professional should develop by Honorable Ms. Susan ma'am, IEEE 2021 President and CEO. A workshop on 3D model designing by Team Autonics. Session on early failure in entrepreneurship journey by Nikhil Kliwal. A talent clock of magic and mentalism by Mr. Shravan Sudhakaran. Project insight on the project automatic prediction of eclipse of EEG signal by Mr. Fasil OK. Project insight of Zara Biotech by Mr. Najib bin Hanif, and last not but the least, an hour of refreshment with the music by Mr. Joe Marshall. IEEE MEA Student Branch has always stood up in supporting and encouraging our student volunteers in rapidly changing technological era. The event and other volunteering objectives under the Student Branch in support with the Student Branch Counselor and with the Student Branch Chapter Advisors and the college management has always been the trademark for the development through it. The Student Branch was also successful in bagging various awards in the previous years in the excellence. Without not taking more time, I would like to move on to responsibility assigned of me. Initially, I would like to thank Dr. Amit Kumar Srivastava, Sir, Director of Student Development, All India Council for Technical Education, for joining with us in his busy schedule and inaugurating this event. Thank you, sir. Thank you a lot. Next, I would like to thank our guest of honor, Susan ma'am. Ma'am has yet to speak after this. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for joining with us in your busy schedule. Thank you for honoring us with your opportunity. Next, I would like to thank Dr. Samir, sir, Secretary IEEE Region 10, for joining with us over here. Thank you, sir. Next, I would like to thank Dr. Suresh Nair, sir, Chair IEEE India Council, for joining us over here with his valuable words and time, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining. Next, I would like to thank Mr. Shankar, sir, the Student Activities Committee Chair of Kerala section, for joining over here and sharing his valuable words. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable time. Next, I would like to thank our Honorable Vice Principal, Professor Anish Babu, sir, for joining us over here and for your valuable time, sir. Next, I would like to thank Ms. Sharada, ma'am, the Kerala section chair. In her absence, she hasn't joined because of the health issues. We wish her speedy recovery and thank you, ma'am, for your valuable advices and blessings. Now, I would like to thank all the participants from different parts of the globe who has joined over here for the auspicious ceremony. Moving on, I would like to thank our student branch counselor, Mr. Jamshir Ahmad, for his invaluable supports. Without this won't be possible. I would like to thank Dr. Febina Devi, Power Energy Society Advisor of Student Branch Chapter, Dr. Raji CG, Advisor, Women in Engineering Affinity Group, Mr. Shamim Sir, Advisor, Computer Society Student Branch Chapter ME Engineering College. I would like to thank all other IEEE professional and life members of senior members of Kerala section who has joined over here in their valuable time. And I would like to thank also Anil Kumar, Professor Anil P. Sahasrabudhe, Chair IEEE, Chair India Council, Chair All India Council for Technical Education, for his wishes. He couldn't join with us because of his busy schedule. I thank him for his valuable wishes and time. I would like to thank Dr. G. Ramesh, Principal IEEE ME, Dr. G. Ramesh, Principal ME Engineering College, for his valuable time and support. He's facing some health issues, so he couldn't join with us. At last but not the least, I would like to thank the Kerala section team, Mr. Alan Jacob, Jacob Thomas, and all other volunteers for the support. And I would like to thank all the members of IEEE MEA Alumni Association, EXICOM, volunteers and publicity volunteers who have worked very hard for this event. I congratulate all the executive committee members for having this great event with us and having this all great personalities, and wishing all the best. And I request all the participants, stay home, stay safe. Let's win this pandemic together. Thank you. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Musharraf, thank you so much. And with that, we have come to an end of a blessed inauguration ceremony. All right, Hasna, why don't we invite our most awaited guest of the day?
Of course, we're highly privileged and excited to call upon our guest of honor, Ms. Susan Cathy Land, President at IEEE. Ms. Land is the current President and CEO of IEEE. She has more than 30 years of industry experience in the application of software engineering methodologies, the management of information systems, and leadership of software development teams. She is the author or co-author of a number of texts, papers, webinars, all supporting sound software engineering principles and practical application of software process methodologies. She has been bestowed with several awards like the Huntsville Association of Technical Societies 2018 Mockwin Award for providing exemplary leadership to the North Alabama technical community with long-standing commitment and consistency, IEEE Huntsville Section 2018 Professional of the Year, and Computer Society's Richard E. Merwin Award for Distinguished Service 2017. With most respect and pleasure, we invite Ms. Susan Cathy Land to our esteemed audience to speak on the topic, the Fantastic Five, the 5 soft skills every technical professional should develop. You may please take over, ma'am.
Okay, let me share my, hold on, files are popping up. Just give me a minute to share my file.
Yes, ma'am.
And I don't understand why it's not wanting to share.
1 minute, ma'am. I will make you the presenter.
Okay, great.
Is it done, Mishra?
No, 1 second. Alan bro, please make Susan ma'am the presenter.
Ma'am, please wait. We'll hand over the privilege to present. Please wait.
Sure. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your patience.
Let's see which
Yes,
file.
you can do
which
now.
file.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Sharaf, please let me know when it once it's done. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's all right. You can do now. Yeah.
Okay, you should be able to see
Yes,
my just let me know when you can see the slide.
You can see.
The slide's visible, ma'am.
Great. So thank you so much. I would like to thank Mohammed Mashar for the invitation. I think he reached out to me on Instagram, which is a great way to reach me if you ever want to reach out, for the invitation to speak. The IEEE MEA Engineering College student branch is very vibrant and active, and it is an honor to be able to speak to you today about something that's extremely important to every individual who chooses technology as a career field. However, in computer science and engineering, the importance of this is not something that's often talked about. So today you'll be hearing about something that I call the Fantastic Five, the 5 soft skills that I feel are critical for every technical professional. So what I hope to do today is provide you with 5 soft skill target areas for you to work on, for you to increase your personal confidence, the value to your company, and as a byproduct, to increase your technical skills. So what exactly are skills? And these are also called professional skills, but I call them soft skills. So to begin with, soft skills are those things that are really intrinsic to who you are, and they're hard to improve because they are part of who you are. And they are uncomfortable for us to practice. But like any skill, like exercising a muscle, practice makes perfect. The more you exercise these skills, the stronger they become. You know, as the saying goes, we have a saying in the United States, no pain, no gain. So if you want to exercise these and strengthen them, it requires some work. So what's important to remember about soft skills is that they are portable across industries. It doesn't matter if you're an educator or an automobile mechanic or a computer programmer. If you're a good communicator, this translates. So let me describe the difference between hard and soft skills. I already mentioned that soft skills are transferable, and that would imply that hard skills are industry specific, and that is the case. So additionally, people tend to start with a set of natural abilities, and I mentioned that. For example, you might be naturally outgoing. You see small children who are, shy, or you see more small children who are more naturally outgoing. Another difference is that hard skills are based on the acquisition of technical knowledge, where soft skills are related more like to emotional intelligence, or you've heard this IQ versus EQ. So you can see examples in the table of how soft and hard skills are described. So soft skills, a person might be described as detail-oriented, or working well under tight deadlines. And hard skills, they might be skilled in various programming languages, or possess a specific bachelor's degree. So throughout this talk, you'll hear me foot stomp on how important soft skills are, either in my words or in the words of others. And so I'll take a moment here to echo the sentiments of the CEO of LinkedIn, when I say that I have a lot of technical, I'm a program manager and I have teams of people who work for me. And throughout the years, I have had teams of technical people who have worked for me. And I have people who are technical, who can solve technically complex problems, but only a few who are equipped to with the skills required to run teams, negotiate contracts, or to present to customers. And these are truly valuable technical members. So soft skills immediately take people out of their comfort zones. In school, we're measured on our hard skills, right? When you're getting a degree in engineering or computer science or some other technical degree, it's, you know, you study for the technical test and you pass the test. Soft skills are harder. And you tend, if you're technical, you tend to dread those soft skills courses like English or, you know, writing a paper, those types of things, communications courses. But you should care about those courses just as much and want to work just as hard on those to make an A, just as you make the A in a class like thermodynamics. And here's why. Employers seek out individuals and want to keep and promote those individuals who can complement their hard skills with a complement of softer skills. Recent data that I found is pretty striking. It reflects that 72% of chief executive officers believe that soft skills are more important to the success of their businesses than hard skills. And that 94% of recruiters, and these are the people that are doing the hiring, the initial, you know, looking for resumes, believe that an employee with stronger soft skills have a better chance of being promoted to leadership positions than an employee with more years of experience, but with weaker soft skills. The bottom line is that the qualifier in every report and study that I found, and from my own experience as a manager, and the reason I chose this topic to discuss with young professionals across IEEE, is that soft skills are what separate the good from the great. So I just described briefly why you should care about this topic, but why do I care? So I've been responsible for delivering software and systems products for years. I have over 30 years experience. And as a hiring manager for the teams that I build to deliver these items, it's critical that the team members possess both hard and soft skills so that we can deliver the necessary capabilities. I found out pretty quickly early on that I could hire the most talented programmer, but if this person could not communicate technically in the simplest terms with a customer, then they were lacking a critical skill that was required, like for requirements development or design, essential to product development and delivery. So soft skills are pretty important to my field. So my arrival at what I'm calling the Fantastic Five, how did I end up with my list? So I did some research. They're generally lists of recommendations that are out there. And these lists vary from 3 items to like 15 items. And I wanted to give you something that was pretty easy to remember. It's easier to remember lists of 5 items. And I listened to technical employment recruiters, other technical managers. And the key here is other technical managers, not HR recruiters for other industries. And also what I thought from my own experience. So this probably factored, my own personal bias probably factored more heavily into this, my own personal experience than anything else. All right, so here's my list. And I want you to know why I'm calling them the Fantastic Five. Remember this word, fantastic. It means extraordinarily good. So these are the soft skills that will help you to become extraordinarily good and will set you apart from others, right? To shine and achieve. And these are communication, teamwork, critical and analytical thinking, interpersonal skills, and work ethic. And I'll go through each of these in detail, and it's my hope that you'll work on these long after this conference. But I want you to remember these. So I always try to come up with a mnemonic. So if you can't remember communication, teamwork, critical and analytical thinking, interpersonal skills, and work ethic, so do some word association, and that's why you see the pictures on the screen. So it's cold turkeys, the cold, turkeys in the snow, cold turkeys, chewed iced whiskey. So you can do the word association and think about that, or you can come up with your own. But cold turkeys, chewed iced whiskey, and then remember communication, teamwork, critical analytical thinking, interpersonal skills, and work ethic. All right, so let's talk communication. This soft skill is usually on the top of most of the list. It doesn't matter what industry, and it tops my list for a number of reasons. I previously described one of these. You must be able to discuss technology clearly, simply, and concisely with non-technical people to be successful. So let's talk for a moment about those of you who don't want to work like maybe in a typical academic or corporate environment. Many people want to become entrepreneurs these days. If you're looking to become an entrepreneur and start your own business, this soft skill is critical. You must be able to talk to investors. You must be able to communicate your ideas and your plans quickly and succinctly to pitch your business idea. If not, you will not be successful. Communication is not just verbal. Most emphasize the importance of clear verbal communication because this is where most of us tend to be the weakest, and this is where we need the most practice. However, written communication is the second area where I see the most need for improvement in technical professionals. The ability to clearly and effectively communicate is critical, as we see from something called the Holmes Report. And this is often cited. This Holmes Report is, it reports that the barriers to communication results in over $26,000 of losses annually for each employee in companies studied. And these are non-trivial losses to the corporate bottom line. And you can understand why CEOs value a soft skill like communication from their employees. So you've heard of something, you may have heard of something, and it drives me crazy. This was cited yesterday in a briefing I heard, and it's not true. So I try to make people aware of this, but it's called the 7-11. And people talk about that within the first 7 seconds of meeting someone, that you are making 11 impressions, or you'll hear that within 59 seconds, people make a judgment. It's got all kinds of permutations, but and this used to really intimidate me, because I, believe it or not, I used to be a real introvert, and I still fight with that. But I don't know about you, but if you think about it, in the first 7 seconds that I meet someone, I'm just trying to remember their name. I'm trying to think of something to say, and I'm just trying to survive the introduction. I'm not making a judgment call about them. I'm trying to survive. So at some point in my career, I started doubting this. And so I did some research, and it's not true. So the only reference that I could find that named the source was a university study from Michael Solomon, who's a PhD, and his response was this was an urban myth that was attributed to him, and he said there's no such study. He never did a study, but there is a lot of evidence that suggests people do make judgment calls about others with limited information. There's just no research that this happens, that you make 11 decisions in 7 seconds. So regardless of the timeline and the number of decisions, you just don't jump to conclusions about someone else immediately when you first meet them, and try to make a good impression when you first meet someone. The one thing that is backed by research is that when an audience does not understand your explanation, particularly a technical explanation, if you try to over-explain or make your explanation too technical, they actually find you to be less smart or less credible, and they lose respect for your experience level. So many times I've seen people try to impress with how much technical knowledge they possess. And the typical audience is not there to try to judge your PhD thesis. So most messaging, if you're giving a presentation, should actually be targeted for an 11th or 12th grade or senior level high school level audience, believe it or not. That's what is recommended. So remember that. I found that shocking, but that's really what I try to target, and it seems to work out for me. And deliver in short chunks, and you'll be more successful. And focus on clarity. So I think this cartoon is funny about email messaging. And this is Dilbert, which is a cartoon in the United States, and hopefully you're familiar with it. But it says, dude, why haven't you answered my email? And he says, your message was so poorly written that I didn't understand it, and I didn't dare to start a dialogue. And it says, well, maybe I should have a talk with your boss. And he says, well, maybe you should email him. So it's important to remember that email is just as critical as any other type of communication, and sometimes we forget that. So here's a very practical example where words have meaning. And so my husband and I have horses, and sometimes we take them places to ride. And this was written on the water pump. And I didn't even notice it. My husband did. But consumption, this was not for human consumption, I think is what they meant. But it says consummation, which has a very different meaning, not for human consummation. So I can't help, I think they were trying to protect from some kind of liability, but I can't help but think what type of liability they were trying to protect against. So words do have meaning, and it's important to understand what type of meaning you're trying to convey. So I had already mentioned email and text, but I'm going to talk about text messaging and email now. So in the office, remember while using and not in the office, texting and emailing in general, email is a more permanent record, and all email is kept now sometimes for more than a year by companies, and it can be used in court. So it's important to think of this while you're using corporate email in particular. When texting, we've all gotten very comfortable with texting, but people are really using informal word structures, and they make their writing sound like a conversation. And this has kind of drifted over into email, which is not appropriate, especially at work, using emoticons and that type of thing. So look at the two examples on the screen, and you'll see the text version. These are the same types of conversations. And it says, you know, FYI, for the text version, we're meeting on Friday. You want to go to the office party after. It's BYOB, so bring whatever you want. We're dancing. The dancing will be off the hook, LOL, later. And then the email version, right? There's a meeting on Friday, November 6th. Immediately following, there will be an office party. It will be bring your own beverage party, so bring whatever you like. Last year's was so much fun. Best regards. So it's the same, yeah, right? But just an example of how to be more formal with the same type of information in an email, right? So think about who you are addressing and how you are addressing them. A long time ago, early in my career, and now this was when faxes were still in use, and I didn't include the fax on the chart, but someone described to me various forms of communication and their levels of effectiveness, and it really stuck with me. So I thought it would be important to put it in here because maybe it'll resonate with some of you. But, you know, and this was sort of like when email really sort of was taking off. But you know, 5 forms of communication, when to use them, and it's really best to try to do things face to face. I know we're in the era of COVID, but now Skyping and video teleconferencing are just about as good. But you know, don't use a text or an email when you can use a phone call. You know, if it's an important issue, try to Skype. It's as you go up the chart or as you go down the chart, you really introduce the likelihood that some type of miscommunication is likely to happen. So I never call if I can speak to someone face to face. I'll give you an example. So I was on a webinar yesterday. Somebody wanted to follow up with some volunteer information. I set up a Skype session for them today at 3 o'clock this afternoon. So I always try to do things in person if I can. Another item I want to discuss, if you're interacting with someone, it's very important to pay attention with how you're interacting so that you can facilitate and enable joint understanding. The environment that I work in at Missile Defense is full of people who are very solution oriented. We're all looking to get to an answer. It's a very fast-paced environment and everybody's looking to get to done, right? We want to get to the answer. And I include myself in this. We jump to conclusions, we finish each other's sentences, we change the subject, we fail to ask questions and provide feedback. I mean, it's just very fast-paced. So this is something that we all have to work on. We're always all working on it, and it affects how we get to the right solution sometimes. But being a better listener is also part of the communication equation. So listening also facilitates understanding. So it's a fundamental concept to part of communication. All right, so my second of the Fantastic Five is teamwork. And I've defined teamwork as the skill that allows you to operate well in a group setting in the workplace to quickly and effectively accomplish tasks. All right, so it sounds easy, but you'd be surprised at how many new hires cannot function as a teaming environment. And many of the interview processes that are set up today try to determine which candidates will work well in a teaming environment, because it's a critical part, a soft skill that many managers or companies are looking for. If people cannot work as a team member, they don't last. They just don't last. They don't work well with others if they can't work well with others. Some subsets of this I've identified that are critically important are on the left side of the slide, and they include accepting feedback, correcting your behaviors, collaborating, cooperating, working conflicts through. There are always going to be conflicts. Somebody may not like your idea. You have to be able to accept that and move on. Customer service, decision-making, negotiation, self-awareness, those types of things. So when I talk about teamwork and how people might fit in, they're often confused. Individuals know about the role of the team leader, right? Everybody knows how to be the team lead. And this is the role they picture in their mind, right? But there are other roles on a team. And I've got these listed on this slide, right? You could be an encourager, a compromiser, a summarizer, the evaluator. And these are just a few, but you can define roles on a team, a technical team, any number of ways, and then assign these out. But the important thing to remember is that a team is organic and each person has a place, and each person needs to find their best fit, and teams and their roles change, and teams can be redefined, and you might not like your role on a team in 2021, but in 2022, you can change your fit, but you need to work within the team when it's assigned, and find out where you can support and do your part. That's what being a team member means. So now I'm going to mention communication again. I told you I was going to stomp it. It's very important. This time with a focus on the teaming environment, and mention about speaking in front of a group. And this practice, years and years of practice. And the one thing I would like to say, and I heard this recently, like in the last couple of years, and it sort of stuck with me, so I like to mention it to people, is when I first started speaking in front of groups, I was scared. And I know that a lot of people get scared, and it's not okay to be scared. It's okay to be nervous. It's getting a case of nerves is normal. But getting scared makes you is prohibitive. So that's what practice does for you. It takes that scared feeling and it just turns it into a case of nerves and makes you a better speaker. So with any presentation, it's important to think about your overall approach, to be prepared. It's great to use humor if you can in your presentation. It makes your audience more comfortable. It makes you more comfortable, and use examples when you're trying to get your points across. But being prepared and remembering that people are people, no matter who you're presenting to, is a really good way to think about being a speaker. All right, so let's see. So the next, let's see. It's important that you're able to demonstrate teamwork, and you can build this skill by creating your own opportunities. If you can't find these at work, there's a great way. I know a great organization called IEEE that can help you develop some teamwork skills. It provides a safe environment, working at the section or the region, or supporting a conference like the one today. You need to practice developing your teamwork skills. And again, IEEE does provide you a good environment to do that in. Important to note when you have done these on your resume so that you can highlight these to potential recruitment organizations when you're looking for jobs. There's an author called Brene Brown. She writes a bunch of leadership books. I highly recommend her books. And she says that a leader is someone who takes responsibility for finding potential in people and processes and has the courage to develop that potential. So I love that quote. And again, I recommend her books. They really are great reads. All right, so just wanted to show this slide. I thought it was really great. It's two kids demonstrating teamwork, right? They're trying to play a video game and there's no seat. But it just shows teamwork, both contributing toward a common shared end goal. And I thought it was a good visual to remind us that sometimes the work may not be glamorous, but the end result is often worth the effort, right? All right, so critical and analytical thinking. Studies describe that the average individual makes about 35,000 conscious decisions a day. That's a lot of decision making. And soft skills that helps you provide this daily decision making process is critical and analytical thinking. This skill helps you to think creatively and helps to keep you from becoming fixed and narrow. And I'm sure we can all think of someone in our orbit that is fixed and narrow, and they're not too much fun to be around, right? So this skill is very important in fast-paced, technically challenging, and constantly changing environments. You have to be able to critically and analytically think and pivot. So according to the World Economic Forum, critical thinking and complex problem solving are the two top in-demand skills employees are looking for. Critical and analytical thinking is deciding what is true and what you should do. So the sub-skills that I've associated are on the left again, and they include critical observation, flexibility, innovation, problem solving, troubleshooting, open-mindedness. So very, very important. So this is just sort of a neat slide that I wanted to put in because I love the tar pit on the right of misunderstanding, reluctance to critique, lack of focus, right? So if we don't stay open to and continue to question, right, and stay open-minded, we can get stuck in the tar pit of you know, of sort of our own narrow-mindedness, which is why I like this. So how to develop critical thinking. The key to developing critical thinking is a soft skill. With the other soft skills is practice. So there are some keys to critical thinking success, and they include resiliency, and it's important to step back and question. You know, are you really at the correct solution? And so practicing this, right, there's some books that I have on the right, but it's like routines that require you to continually go back and seek solutions and to question. Another critical thinking killer, again, is communication. And I'm sure you've seen this, where someone gets committed to a solution or idea, and they don't like the idea or solution, and all forward progress stops, right? So there are some techniques like the fishbone technique. You know, there are some questioning techniques that can help you that facilitate group critical thinking. But as far as your personal critical thinking, you need to look for resources that will help you strengthen this skill, and they are out there. So interpersonal skills is the next of the fantastic soft skill. And I'm going to start with a quote from Stephen Covey, who stated, "You cannot continuously improve interdependent systems and processes until you progressively perfect interdependent interpersonal relationships." So according to Myers-Briggs, which I hope you're familiar with Myers-Briggs, it's a personality inventory. You know, you can test and see how introverted or extroverted or, you know, those types of things. Most programmers and engineers prefer to focus on their inner worlds, or are introverts. And that's just basically where most of us end up on that personality profile. And according to a study published by Browmaster and Leary, we all need connection and engagement with others to thrive. So no matter how introverted we all like to think we are, we do need others, right, to be whole human beings. So the need to belong and interpersonal connection is recognized as being fundamental to motivation and productivity. Positive face-to-face interactions where we receive empathy and connect with another are highly correlated with human satisfaction and creativity. So interpersonal skills are important to motivation and success, whether we like to believe it or not. So they help us develop and foster strong working relationships with each other, with clients, and contribute to increasing team and organizational productivity. So they help create a positive work environment, right? So when everybody is sort of clicking along and we're all working together in a positive way, work is good. So if you can see on the left, some of these interpersonal skills: emotional control, cooperation, courtesy, enthusiasm, honesty, being funny, or, you know, having a sense of humor, and respectfulness. All right. So with the other soft skills, again, you can practice your interpersonal skills. And these are soft. I think this is one of the hardest ones if you're really an introvert to practice. But you need to push yourself to interact with others at work. And some of the basic things to think about are: how do you engage with others? Do you pay attention and actively listen? Do you look at people when they're talking to you? Do you let people finish their sentences? Sometimes people talk too much. Do you let them ask questions? Do you show that you're interested and engaged? Think about your voice, the tone and cadence of your voice. Do you speak too softly? Do you speak too quickly? Think about your body language, particularly in meetings. Are you engaged? Are you slumping down in your chair? You know, are you sitting alert and paying attention? Being able to read body language helps us know how people feel. You know, if we are looking at someone and we see how they're positioned, that tells us a lot about whether they're paying attention or if they're in tune to us, you know, so that you're giving off those same signals. So I have a friend at work. He used to be a police interrogator in a past life. And I asked him for some insight for some classic body language signals. And it was interesting. We were on a video teleconference at the time, and we were having a side conversation. There was these two individuals that were on the other end of the video teleconference. And at the same time, there was a conversation going on. And they were both men were playing with their ties. And then at the same point, they were playing with their ties and then they crossed their hands. It was very obvious at the same time. And I asked my friend, I said, you know, what happened with what they did? Is there any significance with what they just did? And he said that yes, the tie adjustment and the crossing hands were nervous and self-soothing gestures. They train these interrogators on what, you know, to tell for clues. So it's interesting, if you're really in tune to body language, you can look for these types of things when you're talking to people. But the bottom line is just to believe in yourself. You know, being insecure will affect how you interact with others. And if there's an area of technical insecurity, get some training and address it. Sometimes I see that in meetings where people will not be as secure in their technical area, and it comes out as a interpersonal area of weakness, and then it causes problems. Don't get involved in office drama. Stay neutral. Don't complain. Remain positive. If there's an area that you need to address of concern, you address it with your manager. And try to mentor and guide others and stay positive. Network with others outside of your immediate group, if that's possible to do, and then leverage local IEEE activities. That's a great way to network with other people. So the fifth soft skill is work ethic. There are many definitions of work ethic, but I created my own, and it's work ethic is how you feel about your job, how you do your job, as well as the level of respect you show your coworkers and others at your job. I just felt like that kind of summarized it better than what I found out there. So you can see from this definition, you can see the key characteristics on the left and sort of how you should pay attention to those if you want to strengthen the soft skills. And these are attentiveness, competitiveness, dedication, dependability, following directions and staying on the task you were given. That's a very frustrating one for managers when people don't do that. Self-motivation, self-management, proper business etiquette, and working well under pressure. So let's see how to develop a good work ethic. So here's some key things I think. You know, be punctual. My entire career, I don't know if it's just my human nature or not, but I'm usually early for meetings. You can see today I signed in early. I got my calendar, it was a later time, but I'm always pretty early for meetings. It allows you to account for if something as bad is going to happen, you won't be late. At least you'll be on time. And people come to depend on you for being there at the meeting. They know if you're not there, something has happened. Dress for success. Even if you are in a bad mood, check your attitude. You know, be positive, at least for the hour you have to be at the meeting. Do what you say you're going to do. If you don't agree with some task you've been given, discuss it with your manager. Don't bring your phone to meetings. Check it at the door, put it on mute. Proofread all your work. There's nothing worse than turning in technical paper and it's full of errors and mistakes, especially if it's a technical mistake. Stay focused. Stay balanced. the problem I have with some of my employees is they won't take vacation. So I have to encourage them to take leave and to do a work-life balance. They're pretty dedicated folks, but you have to stay balanced so you don't burn out. So I presented the top 5 soft skills, and it's communication, teamwork, critical thinking, interpersonal skills, and work ethic. But having the soft skills won't get you a job unless you're able to translate these into a resume or CV. And so when developing your resume, it's important to think of a balance. You have to include both soft skills and hard skills. For example, I would look for an engineer who is both highly technically competent while being able to understand the business and acquisition side of things and being able to communicate with clients. So I give another talk about interview and resume improvement, and I talk about a method called the STAR method. And here's an example of translating your hard and soft skills into resume format. You can Google the STAR method. It's a great activity. It will help you with your resume as well as the interview. You can use this content to help you prepare for an interview as well. But you describe the situation, you describe the task, the action, and the result. And you can see here the situation is what was the problem, and it's provided technical leadership. I have to move this. Technical leadership for the United States Department of Army Research Software Engineering Directorate, America's Army Program. And the task is the first large-scale use of game technology by the U.S. government as platforms for strategic communication, and the first use of game technology in support of U.S. Army recruiting, employing realistic models and simulations. And the action was under my technical leadership and production execution. The program delivered its first public versions of the game, creating a user base of over 8 million players, and was ranked in the top 10 first-person shooter games played online. And the result was the success of America's Army pushed the boundaries of commercial game realism in combat depiction with its incorporation of real-world base models, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so then what you do is you take this and you condense it into one line on your resume or one short paragraph on your resume. And I talk about this in this other talk that I give, but you need to use the STAR technique, convert the hard and soft skill into resume format. Another example is leveraging your IEEE activities or other external activities. You can see where I've used, these are examples, but communication is an invited speaker or author, and then teamwork, how you've chaired something or other activities, right? So just remember when you're developing your resume, how to leverage those and support your resume. All right, so I would again like to thank you for the invitation to speak today, to really think about soft skills and developing and exercising your soft skills. They're not something that are going to happen overnight. The improvements are painful again. The more exercise you need in a particular area of a soft skill, the more work it's going to take. Think of it as a muscle that you're having to strengthen. The weaker it is, the more work it's going to take to strengthen it. But it's worth it and people can see the improvement. That's what's rewarding about it. You can see at the bottom it says soft skills are key to building relationships, gaining visibility, and creating more opportunities for advancement. So I hope that that you've enjoyed this talk. I hope you found some value. I'll stop sharing, and if there's time for questions, I can take questions, but it's up to you guys. I hope I've stopped sharing everything. I have something showing.
I think the whiteboard
is there anything else? How do I stop sharing the? How do I stop sharing the whiteboard? Yeah, maybe you can stop it. Just take the privilege away from me.
Stella, are you there?
Yeah, we are doing it once.
There, I think I did it.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am, it's done now.
Aisha, you can take the questions from the participants.
Okay. So, is there any questions from the participants? This is a great opportunity to ask, to hear from Ms. Land. Please type your questions.
Don't be afraid. Everybody's always like quiet, but don't be afraid. You can ask me any question. If you
Guys,
want to
please.
put a question in chat, I can see the chat.
Is there any questions? Please ask them. Please type them.
See, and what's the best way to handle? Yeah, what's the best way to handle multiple activities at a time? So if you're working on multiple projects, I would get the prioritization of the projects from your manager, and then allot time to each one according to the prioritization. That's how I would handle it.
Mushraf, I hope she answered your question. Ma'am, we have another question now.
Okay. How do we handle, how do we work in a workplace when it's too high pressure? Yeah, I empathize with that. I've had jobs where it's really high pressure. I mean, just really made me crazy. You have a choice. You can continue to work. Usually it's because of the manager. I had those jobs when I was a programmer, and I really didn't have control over my environment. And I ultimately left those jobs. And then I went into management and made it so that my programmers didn't have to work in jobs like that. But they, sometimes it's because they've bid a job, they didn't know how to bid the job within the right amount of time for the right amount of money. But yeah, you can, sometimes there's not much you can do in the job except get your resume out. And I hate to tell you that. You know, maybe look around in the company and find a place that's not so high pressure. I don't know what to tell you, not knowing much more about the exact situation. It says, ma'am, if two people are good at soft skills and hard skills, how much will you give importance to soft skills? Will more weightage be, well, what you saw from the data is that managers give more weight to soft skills. If there's a specific technical task that only one person can solve, like if there's a technical expert, they may hire the technical guy, you know, who has no soft skills. But I will tell you that I have seen technical experts removed from programs because they had no soft skills. They could not, they were rude, they were obnoxious, they could not handle themselves. As I'm a government, I work for the government now. Now, for many years, I was a contractor, but I'm the government customer. I had a contractor removed from the program because of the way he acted. So I will tell you that if you cannot behave or communicate, you're not going to be successful, no matter how technically talented you are. Important. Let's see, what influenced you to be part of IEEE? So I do a whole talk on this. But I met IEEE when I was a programmer, and I was leading small teams, and this was back in the early 90s. And it was when programming moved from big mainframes to smaller computers, and we didn't have like online repositories of software, and we didn't have configuration management. You know, software engineering was not a science. And IEEE was leading, and they were establishing software engineering as a field. And they had these standards that described requirements management and software design and verification and validation. And, you know, we were running around trying to do configuration management, and all our software was on 3.5-inch floppy disks. And we were working on huge software programs for the Air Force. And so I found the software and systems engineering standards, and they had these guides, GUIDES guides, and started using those with CMMI, Capability Maturity Model, to support process improvement and basically saving my programs and delivering products on time within schedule because of IEEE. And that's how I became involved with IEEE and the standards organization. That's how I met IEEE. Let's see. What is your opinion about doing part-time business network marketing while studying engineering in order to develop soft skills? I think whatever you do. So there was a question that says, what is your opinion about doing a part-time business like network marketing while studying engineering in order to develop soft skills? Whatever you want to do to experiment and develop your soft skills is a great thing. I think go for it. Says, what is your success secret? I don't think I have a success secret, but I appreciate that comment. I think that if you want my honest answer, I think I'm really lucky, and I think I work really hard. I think I work really hard. It's 99% perspiration. I work hard, and I have a lot of, and I'm really lucky. That's my secret. Work really hard. How to deal, let's see. If you have to pick from 1 to 2 people with sound, soft skills, oh, a minute, I can't read it. If you have to pick from 2 people with sound, soft skill background and another with hard skill background, who would you select and why? It's not that easy. So if I had, I get resumes. So here's the thing, for every single position that's open, the recruiters see 250 resumes. That's the average. They down select to 6, and then they interview those 6 people. Those 6 people are going to have good technical background and skills. So that's not, the question you're answering me is not relevant. Those people that have no soft skills on their resume are not going to make it to the down select of the 6. That's why I'm giving you this talk. You have to put soft skills on your resume. You have to have technical skills on your resume. I do a whole nother talk on how to get your resume up and how to interview well. So if y'all want me to come back and do that talk, I will. And I think you would like it. It's not like any other interview resume talk you've seen. Yeah. I do it, and I actually have a resume from India that I helped a gentleman with that I use as the before example, and then I have an after example. Let's see. Why do you lose confidence when you are in front of people? So why do people get nervous, and why do they lose confidence? I will tell you that I used to get so nervous when I was in my late 20s and 30s, when I first started speaking, that it was paralyzing. It takes practice. It takes practice. It takes practice. I used to get up and do my talks for, I did a lot of talks for standards. I used to work in standards a lot. And I would be so nervous. And you just have to practice and practice and practice and practice and practice. it's like I told you, it's like if you're exercising a muscle and you're going to work out and you lift 5 pounds and then you lift 10 pounds and then you lift 15 pounds, you just have to practice. That's why you get nervous. I don't know, that's all I can tell you. Because I used to be really nervous and I'm not anymore. You select between a fresh person with skills or an experienced man. So again, I will tell you that when we're looking for people, we get a lot of resumes, and it's really not that simple. Each job, you know, down select, and you're looking for that best combination of both. So what I would say is you put on your resume the optimal mix of your experience and your soft skills. The biggest mistake people make, there's two when they're writing their resume. They write one resume for a lot of different jobs. Big mistake. If you are applying for a software engineering position, your resume should look different for that position than if you're applying for, I don't know, a programming position. You should tailor your resume for each position or category of position. And then you should make sure that your resume has you know, I see all these resumes one after the other. They look the same. You know, they just have a list of, I know Java, I know C++, I know this. There's nothing in that resume that makes me care about that person, that makes them unique. So you need to have on your resume what you've done. And you know, I've showed you, like, you know, use that SMART technique to make your resume stand out. Okay, and then let's see. But I talk about it more in that other talk. How do you manage to contribute for IEEE so much and succeed professionally? For me, I concentrate on IEEE, I lose concentration on my studies. And also, did IEEE help you more on your professional career? Okay, so I give another talk about, and it's called My Professional Journey. And it's how IEEE, because I get asked that all the time. What did IEEE do for my, how did I do it, right? So I talk about my personal journey with IEEE is what it's called. And it's how the impact IEEE had, my journey with IEEE, and then what IEEE can do for you. But the short answer is that I think I'm really efficient and that I am really good. Like this morning, I got up at 4 a.m. I don't sleep a lot, and people don't believe that, but I don't sleep a lot. And I'm pretty efficient, and I'm not on Facebook. I don't waste time. And I know that sounds mean, but I don't waste time. I'm only on Instagram. So I'm not on interactive social media like that. And I prioritize what is important to me. So I have a full-time job. I'm a program manager for missile defense. And this year it's a new startup, like it's a new program. So I work a full-time job. And then I have this full-time gig with IEEE. And I do these webinars, but I guess I'm good at prioritizing and organizing, and I don't do much else. So pretty boring person, I guess. So you have to prioritize what you want to do. How can you change from an introvert to an extrovert? Again, my husband is an introvert, and it's hard for him, and it's hard for him. We've been married 37 years. But what he does is he's more of an introvert than I am, but I'm not anymore, right? But what you do is you put yourself in situations where you have to exercise that muscle, where you practice, where you think of topics beforehand that you're going to discuss, where you join IEEE committees, you know, where you put yourself in situations where you have to participate. The best thing is to join some IEEE group where you have to network with other people. That's what I would recommend. Am I enjoying my position as IEEE President and CEO? Yes. And I'm very sorry and sad that COVID hit. But in a way, it's been a blessing because I have not had to travel. If I had had to travel with the way the presidents usually do, I would not have been able to support the webinar format that I have been able to support. And I have been able to reach out so much more and communicate with so many more sections and groups, and it's just been fabulous. So I've really enjoyed communicating with the members in IEEE this year. So it's been great. What differences have been made in your life by IEEE? Well, IEEE has changed the world of software engineering. IEEE defined the men and women in computer society and standards association basically defined software engineering as a profession. They defined the body of knowledge, working with others. They defined the standards. They defined, you know, the certification, everything that you need to define the accreditation for the universities. So, and software engineering changed my life personally because it made it so that we could complete products and deliveries on time. So I owe IEEE a debt of gratitude because it made my work I do so much better. So that's the short answer. But I've developed lifelong friendships, professional friendships, and I think that IEEE impacts through its humanitarian activities, through its, we now have STEM activities for K through 12, we just launched this year. But IEEE, I think, impacts, it really does support its mission, right? You know, technology for the benefit of humanity. And I'm very proud of that. I think we do so much for so many all over the globe. And if you're a member and a volunteer, you should be very proud to be associated with this wonderful organization. What's your message to all the young engineering students out there? That I think you're in a wonderful profession. If that I can think of no other, being involved with technology is, I can think of no other field that changes so much. So I've been involved for over 30 years and you will never be bored. And that it's such a great equalizer. Doesn't matter where you're from, what your gender is, the color of your skin, that if you have the best idea, it's the best idea. And to me, that's what's so brilliant about being involved in technology. And you should always remember that. And you should never be, feel lesser or be intimidated or anything. If you have the best idea, it's the best idea. So always remember that. Let's see. How do you keep yourself updated with the latest knowledge in your field? IEEE, you know, it's a great resource. IEL, the electric library. I read a lot. It's impossible to stay updated on everything, but I read a lot. Thank you for your answers. You don't have a specific question, but thank you. I really appreciate that. I try to do a lot of research and try to figure out what would be helpful. So thank you. All right. Well, thank you for your time today.
Ma'am, I guess we have no more questions, but all your answers were really satisfactory. And thank you so much for your precious and insightful words. That was really a fantastic presentation of your fantastic these 5 soft skills of every professional should develop. And the Q&A session was awesome. Our participants will be really thankful for your sincere and satisfactory answers. It was a great informative session. For all our attendees present here, your presence in XTRINIA 3.0 was a blessing and a great pleasure to all of us. Now, as a token of love to express our sincere gratitude, we'd like to present a small memento. Once again, thank you so much, ma'am, for taking the time out of your busy schedule and joining us today. Please accept our humble memento.
Thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, and have a wonderful day. And please make sure, I think we have upcoming sessions and we'd love to have you here once again with your highly professional talk. And thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So Hasna, please take over.
Yeah, sure. And so with this, day one of XTRINIA 3.0 has come to an end. It's time to reveal that little secret surprise for you guys. I'm excited to announce an interesting little competition in between XTRINIA. Aisha will explain you the details. Aisha, you may please.
Well, the quest is called Riddle Medal, and this tricky little quiz consists of 8 questions. The answers of 8 questions will be connected to each other, which results in the final answer that has to be submitted. The most interesting part is that the questions will be partially related to the continuous events in XTRINIA, and the questions will be out at the start of different sessions and the end of some as well. So stay tuned and focus to catch these questions, find the answers, and achieve your greatest surprise gift at the end of XTRINIA 3.0.
So guys, as you heard Aisha, please get yourself immersed and let's enjoy every bit of this event, and surely a surprise present is waiting for you. Be careful, the question will only be repeated twice and won't be posted in the chat box or presented on screen. So pay attention, and here comes your first question, Aisha.
Yeah, the question is, Teresa's father was 38 years of age when she was born, while her mother was 35 years old when her brother 4 years younger to her was born. What is the difference between the ages of her parents? Please pay attention. I will repeat the question once more. Teresa's father was 38 years of age when she was born, while her mother was 35 years old when her brother 4 years younger to her was born. What is the difference between the ages of her parents? I hope you have noted it down. All right.
So guys, good luck with the question and stay tuned for the rest of the questions. We've almost reached the end of the session. The feedback form of today's session is in the chat box. Please make sure to fill it, and let's improve in the coming sessions.
Finally, we'd like to express our sincere gratitude to every one of you for taking the time out of your heavy schedule and marking these hours with your glorious presence. We really look forward to your love and support in the coming days of XTRINIA. I will now give a brief about tomorrow's sessions and workshops. Tomorrow we'll be starting our event at 10:30 a.m. sharp with a workshop of 3D model designing by the most aspiring team Autonix. The next session will be handled by Mr. Nikhil Kilivail on early failure in entrepreneurship journey, which is followed by an amazing session of mentalism and magic by Mr. Shravan Sudhakaran. So be with us tomorrow. Once again, thank you so much. Have a good night and see you tomorrow. This is Team XTRINIA signing off. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I request all the participants, please fill the feedback form to ensure your attendance.